So you have V equals IR. Let me rewrite that. So you have V equals IR. This here is, by the way, called Ohm's law. So voltage, this here is volts. This here is current, which is measured in amps or amperes. I believe that's how you spell it. And this here is resistance, which is measured in, of course, ohms. So IR, like I times R, let's just say. So what is voltage? Voltage is pretty much the difference in potential energy between 2 points in an electromagnetic field. In other words, it's like the pushing force needed to move electricity between 2 points, or it's like it generates the flow of electrons. Go ahead and Google that if that's not a clear explanation. But so I is of course current, amps. How much electricity is flowing between those 2 points? Resistance is, of course, what is the difficulty between the path that they're taking between the 2 points, the electrons. So resistance you can kind of think of is this here is a road. This is my house, and I don't know who you are, but let's just say this is your house, and for some reason I'm going from my house to your house and driving there. Resistance is basically so this here actually broke a Molotov cocktail in my trunk while I was driving for DoorDash, but in Chicago, some streets have them, some don't. But let's just say there's a speed bump here, and 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 it's really annoying, and you hit them going like 40 miles an hour on accident, and yeah, then you hit the first one, then I slowed down and kept going slow all the way through. These speed bumps here are inhibiting my ability to go from point A to point B. They're obstacles, basically. Let's say there's a car on the road, and then you get stopped by a cop or a hooker, I don't know, whatever that is. And it's basically the obstacles between point A and point B that take place. So I was going to explain something, I kind of ran out of room there. So just an example, V equals IR, right? So you have a 12-volt battery per se. It is 2 amps, and you have, for simplicity, let's just say, well, I mean, that would be 6 ohms, right? So 6 ohms. So if you drop this amps to 1 amp, cut it in half, and you still want 12 volts, how do you get there? You have to double the amount of resistance. So my car is thinking, hey, there's nothing there, and it needs to still be 12 volts because when I installed them, let's just say I installed them, it went down to 1 amp and it was still 6 ohms. That's only 6 volts now. I mean, this is just like using random numbers. This is actually probably a terrible example, but still. So get this 6 to back to 12 for your car to think that there's actually something in there and stop hyperflashing, you have to increase the amount of resistance in order to get back to that same level if you decrease the amount of amps or current. So